Continues. Rahul Srivastava is joining us with more details on this. Rahul, not what we expected at all. Hours of productive debate, and it's come down to this.
Akshita, I think one should not rule out the possibility, and one was not ruling out the possibility in the morning. It was expected to be explosive. See, what has happened is that on paper the opposition has greater numbers, but the government knows that it has got greater maneuverable skills, and that is where the government had the numbers. See, the disruption did not start because the issue was put to vote. The minister, Mr. Narendra Singh Tomar, was replying to the questions. His statement was on, which is usually winds up the discussion on the bill, and then the bill goes to vote. And at that time, the question was raised. The time is 1 o'clock, and at this time, the Rajya Sabha has to get up. There has to be a 2-hour break for the Lok Sabha to begin, and that's where the chair sought the permission of the House that can there be an extension of the session. Ghulam Nabi Azad, the leader of the opposition in the upper house, was sagacious enough to keep sitting on his chair, and he said that whenever there is a need to extend a session for a day or during a day, the permission of the House is taken. That's been the precedence, and it is not. It is decided by the numbers of the ruling party, and that's where when the government started going ahead and the agriculture minister tried to continue with his speech, we found that some members of the opposition started jumping into the well. In fact, my colleague Polomi was watching the proceedings, exactly what transpired inside the House as the agriculture minister was yet to finish his reply. There was a ruckus created by certain opposition members. Polomi, who all were the first to break the social distancing protocol in Parliament, in Rajya Sabha?
Well, there were several members of Parliament, which included Dola Sen of the Trinamool Congress members of Parliament. Shailaja were in the well of the House. Jairam Ramesh was in the well of the House. Sanjay Singh of the Aam Aadmi Party was in the well of the House. Then, of course, the numbers kept swelling in the well. And then we saw TMC Member of Parliament Derek O'Brien reach the chair and tear paper saying, no, you cannot do this. He's still around in the well. And
But we saw him even reaching the Deputy Chairperson, Harivansh, who was sitting in his chair. Now, this is one thing which was totally prohibited in this session, to observe the social distancing protocol. And even in the regular rules created in the last few years, coming into the well has become a major offence, and reaching the chair is virtual sacrilege.
I think a lot of rules and regulations have been broken today. We're talking about the safety and health protocols vis-a-vis social distancing and the norms which have been laid out. Those have been completely thrown out of the window today by the opposition members of Parliament who have reached the well. And then, of course, like you said, it's complete a breach of the privileges that the members of Parliament enjoy to reach the well of the House, reach the chair, and then, of course, tear papers.
And right now the debate continues. The government is going ahead with the voting process.
Right now, they're still consulting. We saw the Deputy Chair Harivansh consult Prahlad Joshi, the Union Parliamentary Affairs Minister, also Mukhtar Naqvi, who has held this position in the past as well. So the consultations are on because the opposition is still in the well of the House and creating ruckus both in the chambers of the Rajya Sabha.
Basically, they are against the House being extended.
Absolutely. At 1 p.m., when the Deputy Chair sought permission from the House to extend the session as is protocol, the government said, of course, go ahead, we are putting the bill to vote. The opposition was up in arms saying, no, you cannot hurry the bills through.
So, Akshita, that's it. Basically, the minor reason why the ruckus happened, because the opposition did not want the bill passed today. The government had the brute numbers, and that's where it, sensing the advantage, wanted to go ahead, finish the business today, move on for another bills tomorrow. And that's where the opposition sensed an opportunity that if the bill has to derail, maybe even for a day, the only possibility is breach the protocols, reach the well of the House, disrupt the proceedings.
That it's come down to this. It's come down to this kind of pandemonium after hours of productive debate. Derek O'Brien, TMC MP, they're seen approaching the podium, taking a draft of the farm bills and then tearing it up. The mic also at one point is snatched from the podium as the deputy chair sits there and watches all of this unfold in front of him. Clear norms put in place that in the monsoon session during a pandemic, nobody can stand in the well of the House. You cannot gather in large numbers in the well of the House. All of that is dismissed because the government sought for an extension. They wanted to ensure that the bill is passed, come what may, today in the Rajya Sabha. We will slip into a short break here on India Today with those visuals. We'll be right back, getting you all the latest updates of what's happening in the Rajya Sabha. All right, a quick update also for our viewers. House has been adjourned. The Rajya Sabha has been adjourned. So the opposition essentially has got it their way. They didn't want an extension today. They did not want the farm bills voting to happen now. So with the ruckus that they've created, they've got what they wanted. The House has been adjourned, which means tomorrow is when you will see this being taken up again in the upper house. For now, there is no extension of the session after all the ruckus that we've witnessed. We're going to come back in just a bit with the latest from the Rajya Sabha and all those visuals that we're seeing of the pandemonium.